Hey, Berkeley, long time.
Not too bad. It was a good kind of break. Get some money, so it was pretty good.
Good to hear.
How have you been last 3 weeks?
Well, nothing changed much actually. It was quite rainy for the first 2 weeks. I was actually looking forward to some sunshines, and I wanted to go and socialize more, but unfortunately, it was kind of a rainy season here in Belgrade.
It's
But
pretty dreary out.
yeah, but otherwise, work has been going okay. Marking assignments here and there, and just trying to keep it real.
Yeah, that's I'm. Well, hopefully some sun comes out for you then.
For sure, yeah, for sure. How's the weather like over there?
It's good actually. Like 2 weeks ago, it was pretty warm, like mid 60s. But right now, it's like 32 degrees out. So Idaho, it varies in temperature all the time. So it could just be really hot one week and then get really cold the next.
Is there any good ski resorts around there?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's some popular ones down south in Utah. Have you heard of Snowbird at all?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that it's kind of far, but you can make a weekend trip out of it. I haven't been there, but that's one I really, really want to go to.
Yeah, this season is gonna be funny. I wonder the kind of measures that they are going to have.
I was just talking about that actually. If they're gonna do like every other chair but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Let's jump into the course. So, good work. You made good progress for this week. I can see you went through the Flask bcrypts hashing authentication, and you are up to Heroku.
Mm-hmm.
And right, so I did have the opportunity to look at your SQL DDL design. Now, I I think there's more work that needs to be worked on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me one sec here. Hey, for the Flask assignment, you re-uploaded the updated one 3 weeks ago, right?
For the Flask,
Yeah,
is that?
that one is the forex converter.
Oh, I should from the input that you gave. Yeah, I should have uploaded it back and then like posted that link back in the Springboard. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to double check with you because when I downloaded the link that you posted about 3 weeks ago, it's still missing the requirements file. So I wonder if I got the right link.
Oh, okay, I might not have put in the requirements file,
Okay,
so I'll put that in there.
sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on my desktop for some reason, so I'm downloading it now off of the Google Drive link.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's that's another big problem with working in the software field. Is like you constantly have to make sure the correct versions for a given software. So versioning and making sure you are in the right folders, that can be quite challenging too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got it up.
Cool. If you open up the design diagram for Craigslist,
Oh, okay.
so you got the user and post correct, but it's missing regions and category assignments. So the first thing is saying the region of the Craigslist post, San Francisco, Atlanta, Seattle. So region is like kind of required in this case. And then the categories, if you look at the fourth point, it says categories that each post belongs to, right? So post needs to have relationship to regions and categories.
Regions and categories. Oh, okay.
Exactly, yeah.
They submitted the assignment with those JPEG.
Yeah, it's a good way to for this assignment. I just need to see how you model the table in relationship to one another. So as long as it shows like the relationship between one another, it doesn't matter the format.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this is like top level database design, and we are more concerned about the relationship between the tables.
Gotcha.
And then next, if you open up the one for medical center, so for this one, you got the doctors, diseases, visits, and patients right, but it's missing the diagnosis table among actually between visits and diseases.
Okay, because patient could have multiple diagnoses from visits. Yeah. Okay, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those like you are going to see a lot of this table. It's called an in between tables. Its main function is pretty much just holding the foreign keys between tables, and it's a quick way for the database to look up data.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for next, if we open up the soccer league,
Okay.
for this, but this is just one improvement I think can make it better. It's like if you add a table lineups. So lineups can hold the foreign keys to player, match, and team. If you really put real data in a design like this, the lineups table is going to make looking up data much faster.
Okay, and when you're talking about lineups, are you talking about yeah, what do you mean by the lineups part?
Right. So the lineups is like if we look at how the matches works is that during the sessions, like you have lineups of like how to say that lineups during the game, and the lineups can hold the player information, the match information, and team information.
Okay. And this would be another table that I would create
Yes.
for lineups? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the lineups table and team table, it's like the in between.
Okay, what like connects the two?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's it for this one. And then for one second, I'm trying to think. I think there's also the air traffic. Okay, one sec.
Okay.
Did you modify the file?
You know, I'm looking at it. I don't think I did, Nathan.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
The files is the same as the provided.
Okay. I don't know how I skipped that. Yeah, I'll go back and do that.
Sure. These ones are not difficult. Like you just need to add in like extra information, say clients information, or even so like
an airline ticket.
Exactly. So like any information you think it's going to complement this this database design to make it better, more details.
And is this so this is an SQL file that would be seeded into a PS.
And same thing goes to the music SQL and also Atlas space. So the music one, I believe it only has the songs table. Maybe there can be more information about, say, like artists, the artist information, sessions informations, or even there's a lot can go into this.
Okay.
And that applies to the outer space. There's a ton of more information can be added here.
Okay, I'll go back and get into the air traffic music in the outer space one.
Sounds good. Cool. Just looking at the notes here. Yeah, so that's pretty much the notes I have so far. Otherwise, it's the Forex converter assignment because the version that I got still missing the requirements file. Yeah, so I either must have got the wrong link or.
I had a question actually. So I spent some time debugging on Friday with a couple of the Springboard TAs. And so what we ended up doing was uninstalling everything on my global, just on my computer, and then we installed everything in the virtual environment. When you're doing a project, do you recommend just keeping your global environment, have nothing installed, and then the virtual environment, you just install everything there?
Yes, they did the right thing, and the reason for that is because when you work in a big company, and let's say they have multiple projects, and each project they might be using different versions of the Python. Let's say project A might be running Python 1.8, project B might be running Python 2.5, and if we go into details, project A might be using Forex library like 1.2, like they can all have different versions. Now imagine on your global repository, you only have Python 2.5 and the Forex 1.2. And there's a bug being reported to you, and it can only be reproduced under Python 3.2 Forex 2.0. If you go with the global approach, you're going to have to uninstall everything on your global, reinstall everything. But if we were to use the virtual environments approach, that means each project's repository, after you clone it, they are going to be dedicated environment just for that project specifically only, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you wouldn't have to uninstall and install everything again and again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if you're in a virtual environment, shouldn't it not matter what's installed on your global environment?
You mean if the library that's been installed in virtual environments going to affect the global libraries?
Like, let's say if you have just a bunch of libraries installed on your global environment, and then you open up a virtual environment, shouldn't everything in that virtual environment, whatever's installed in that, it shouldn't matter what is installed in the global environment?
Right. So what happens? It has to do with the environmental path, the setup for the environmental path. So for example, I had another mentee, he had a problem where his local Python is running on 3.2 and his virtual Python is running on 2.8. And when he tried to run his Python inside the virtual environment, it's using the Python outside of the virtual environment. So the problem is that you will run into conflicts like that, and it would make things really complicated. And that's why it is recommended that you just remove everything from your local environment, because the computer itself is not that smart. Like,
Gotcha.
the pathing, like even when you're inside a virtual environment, it's still going to use the paths that's been set up outside of your virtual environment. And it just makes everything so complicated.
I spent like a whole day Friday. We couldn't figure it out, but that's what it was. I just had to uninstall everything globally and then start over. But it's good to know now, though.
So I helped a mentee during our session the whole 30 minutes, and we were having that same problem. And it's one of those problems. It's like, if you know what you're doing, fine. But for beginners, you're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, and then you're like, well, yeah, and then you try one thing, you're like, okay, so now that thing is always going to be wrong when I try it, but it wasn't the case, so
And
yeah, it's all good now, though, so.
dude, the worst part is when you go search problems like that in Stack Overflow, they got so many and like answers to that, and you're like, but which one is like the correct way to fix this?
Yeah, because it could be for Mac, or it could be for like a different terminal application thing, so yeah.
So that is another important skill for a good developer, is that you also need to be able to discern the right answers from the bad ones. It's not everything posted in Stack Overflow is perfect. You have to be able to tell.
Yeah.
And the Forex converter. Do you have any questions regarding to the materials you went through this past?
Capstone ideas.
Right.
And I guess I am on the proposal part and then prepare a project proposal. Teaches yoga here in Boise, and I was thinking creating a website for her, and the type of like APIs that we would use on the website would be a calendar scheduling. So as I could just go in and find an open time for the classes and then just sign up that way. There's another API I was thinking of too. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, I just wanted to, like, is that a good API to use? Is this a good idea for Capstone 1?
Basically, you want your mother to be able to see like members, like which days they want to schedule for the yoga class, right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like she would have her classes on the calendar, and then there would be like a max participants of like, I don't know, 6 or so, and then someone using the website could go in, sign up for one of those classes.
I think if Google Calendar provides functionality like that, because I use Google Calendars a lot, and I remember like you can create like events, like reminders here and there, but if you want to show things like say numbers of participants for during these hours during this day, I don't think you can do that with Google Calendar. So
Okay.
so I think you might need a third party library that allows you to modify um, the calendar. Yeah, because you definitely need to do some modification on top of the calendar functionality. So if I do a quick search on third party JavaScript calendar library, man. Now, if we look at the documentations, there's a page for started, create library, toolbar.
And this is the Google Calendar API, or are you looking at it?
I have a calendar JavaScript library, and I'm looking at the documentation just to see like what kind of functionality we can utilize.
The Google Calendars.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it looks like there's a lot of customizations that we can do. There's a custom views. There might be something we can customize with custom view. Day count, duration. Source data. And
okay.
Yeah, has a lot of customization. Like you can customize the views, you can customize the date and time, and you can do drag and drop. So yeah, events. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff.
Okay.
Otherwise, I do think your proposal is sound.
Okay.
Yeah, just need to figure out how can you make it so that when the practitioners come to the sites and they mark if they select a particular class, that you can show how many people sign up and how many spots left for that particular class.
Okay.
Right? That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah. I was thinking that part was going to be the hard part for sure.
Yeah.
But I did have another question on that. So I was thinking about maybe using Twilio too to get like a text confirmation after they sign up for a class.
You can do the SMS notification as a bonus, just focusing on how you can customize this calendar library and make it so that the users can see the capacity for the class and they can register for it. And once you can meet these core requirements, then work on the bonus thing.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I get everything done and set, then try Twilio if everything works.
Exactly, and that sounds like a really cool application. Like even I want to use it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. My mom's super excited about it too. So
perfect.
Hopefully I get that done and like actually up on a website, but we'll see.
No. So our time is up. And good work.
Thanks.
Yeah. For next week, what will you be working on? Pretty much the capstone, right?
Yeah, or I was hoping to finish the database DJ DDL stuff.
Okay, sounds good. All right, man.
Thanks, Nathan.
No worries. Have a good one, eh?
Yeah, you too.
High five.
See ya.
See ya.